G'day guys and welcome back to B737 where today we're going to be showing how to set up a flight computer, an FMC, on a Boeing 737 flying from Melbourne to Sydney, Australia. Now first thing is obviously coffee. Once we've got that out of the way we can get to work. So here the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the identification page where we're going to be checking the database of the aeroplane. From there we're going to tell the aeroplane where it is. So we're going to grab a GPS latitude, longitude and put that into the IRS and wait for it to align. Here we'd be loading the route. I'd already done this previously because it can take a little bit of time to get, so just to save time, that's already there. Now onto the performance page where we're going to put in some basic performance data from our initial flight plan. These figures will change a little bit later as we get updated load information from the company as passengers check in and cargo gets loaded. From there, we're going to put in some base winds and temperatures. That just gives the aeroplane something to work with for VNAV profiles, etc. And it'll get updated once we request ACARS winds, which will be more accurate for the waypoints en route. Here we've got VNAV, we've gone through climb, cruise, descent. Here we've gone to legs, quickly requested the ACARS winds. And now that that's done, we're going to, whilst that ACARS wind is being requested, go into our ACARS initialization page for our company. We're just going to put in a whole bunch of flight details like departure time, date, flight time, as well as our crew numbers. So, when all this data gets sent back to the company, it knows who was flying, captain, first officer, and that'll get logged in a flight crew database for tracking our hours and our recency, etc. Here we're grabbing an ATIS so that we can later on do our performance calculations. That there was just our winds we requested before, so just loaded those. Same goes for our descent forecast winds, load those as well. Here, across to departure, arrivals page, this is at the moment just a guess. Based on the winds and typical departures, we can load something in there and then just update it as we get our PDC, our pre-departure clearance later on. Over to the fix page, we're going to load in a fix for the airport and put in some pretty lines, which is going to assist us with our CDPs, or basically the profile that we fly if we were to lose an engine on departure. This doesn't really enhance our automation if we lose an engine, but it gives us a visual picture, a reminder for where we need to turn, or any radials that we need to intercept outbound if we lose an engine. To avoid any terrain. So now that's in, we're just going to be waiting for the IRSs to align. That's why our map display doesn't have anything there. In the meantime, we're just going to go into our route 2 and we did a route copy and then we changed our destination on route 2 to our departure airport. Now the reason we do that is we can now access departures and arrivals and load up an arrival back onto usually the long runway that's being used. And we can load up an approach for the place that we're departing from in case we need to come back in some sort of an emergency or some sort of a hurry. So that's in there now. We've got all of our CDP loaded. We've got pretty lines everywhere, which we would fly if we had an engine failure or some sort of emergency that relates to performance. And now we're just going through checking all of our route on plan mode in the map. And that's about it. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to drop a comment in below and I'll try and answer it in future videos. Thank you.
Like and subscribe for more Boeing content and tips.